Dev stream. Dev stream, dev stream, dev stream, dev stream. Now it's the dev stream. Literally just continuing what we were doing 2 days ago. However, I actually implemented this. I don't frankly recall whether I added it to the player demo or not, but I certainly did implement variable chunk size. So we'll check whether... yeah, okay, so that's its chunk size 1. So this might already not work, but demonstrate the issue. Or I don't even, like, I haven't even checked that this is an issue. I just assume it is because I usually know what I'm doing about this kind of thing. Type @history to search your browsing history. What? Player. We will open the low bitrate one. Guess I'll check this in case it does anything. I actually have music in the background. I'm going to turn it off to make sure that sound is working, which it isn't. Is it? No. Really? Sound is not. Why is that? It's trying to make sound. Did I break audio entirely when I did the channel count change? I don't know why that would be. I can't really test this without sound, but... And it didn't even fix this, did it? The seek commands went through, they just didn't do anything. That's even stranger. Seek, please. Wait. Is that what's happening? 78. 90, then 90. 1, 2, 3. 98. I mean, I wasn't counting. So it didn't actually even attempt to seek to the time I asked it for. What? That suggests that I just utterly screwed up the, like this side. Seek bar.value, seek bar.onChange. Is onChange... Okay, how does this work? Do I actually want onInput here? Which of these... Like, there might be like a before event and an after event. That looks like probably the correct time. That definitely looks like the correct time. So I was correct that I needed on input, but hey presto, it still doesn't work. I also don't want on input, but there's so many problems and so few solutions. Times the denominator, yes, fine. I believe this should be correct. I did. Oh, well, yeah, okay. I did check the success. And besides, I have the success passed through, and it did say success was true. Otherwise, it's just time. This should all be irrelevant. The default is correct. File, format context. It's just, like, I could easily believe that this file is so botched that it's just not seekable, but what I have a little bit of trouble believing is that I would get no feedback on that. Because, I mean, this file is extremely botched. Like, it's a... I'm actually going to see if I can get a, as correct as possible original of Big Buck Bunny. Don't send me to YouTube, you absolute turd. Download. .1080p is quite sufficient. They only have it in formats from 2008. Wow, 320 by 180. That is some resolution you've got there. I mean, this is H.264, so this is basically an MP4 file. That should... No, don't just play it in the browser, you absolute... Oh, maybe I should wait for it to finish downloading before moving it to place. That would probably be wise. If the low bitrate file is just behaves weirdly in general, it's not even frankly worth it to diagnose that because it has nothing to do with me. Like, I am seeking correctly, and the seek is claiming to work, so... So now the audio is working, and as you can see, the video has gone utterly mad. The problem is that the audio is coming in at 0, like when it's seeked. You see how this is jumping around? It didn't understand the audio timestamp. Like, the audio timestamp would have been continuous with the previous audio timestamps because of how filtering works. So I need to adjust things so that when you filter audio, I guess if you seek, the timestamps just reset. So I could just reset the entire filter if you seek. That would do the trick. Assuming that the filters even by default keep the first timestamp, which now that I think about it, I don't even know if they do that. But I think step 1... just for diagnosing where the error actually happens, maybe I will go into the decoder. I wonder. The audio on this is... Oh, this is video only. Well, that's why it didn't have any audio, isn't it? Okay, the audio on this is AAC, which should be software decoded, I guess. What does this load? Oh, it loads web codecs. Then it's definitely not software. Okay, so it is Using thing. It's using thing. It's using audio decoder. Or at least it certainly ought to be. Quickly verify that before barking up the wrong tree. At this point, I just want to see if there's a discontinuity in the... Yeah, okay, using audio decoder. If there's a discontinuity... So, like, the question is, where's the discontinuity? That's all. Wait, didn't decoder have to treat seek specially? I swear decoder had to treat seek specially. In fact, I know decoder has to treat seek specially, so how can it possibly not be? What? I have not... What? Have I gone completely mad? Let me just open that file twice, that'll help. I mean, certainly seeking... So here's the most confusing part. Like, if you seek... Well, I guess, yeah, in the video it probably will work fine. Yeah, because it always seeks to a keyframe. So in spite of the fact that you're generally, like, recommended to flush, I guess you don't technically have to. Okay, I'm gonna set aside my incredible degree of confusion and worry about the thing I thought I was worrying about. So, audio decoder, just for yucks. I'm just going to. This is going to be really ugly, but it's very temporary. Literally just going to log the timestamps of everything that comes out of audio decoder. And the question is, will there be a discontinuity? And I suspect that the answer is no, and that's exactly why you're supposed to flush your decoder, you imbecile. Oh. There was a discontinuity. Wait, you know what? The video is acting like it didn't seek? Or maybe it... I don't know. Let me seek backwards. I don't have a pause button, which is unfortunate. The decoder's timestamps make no sense to me. Maybe it's like enforcing some kind of continuity? Like it's forcing them all to be in order, even if that doesn't make any sense? So the timestamp can't really correspond to the literal timestamps of the input packets because audio is continuous. But I certainly wasn't expecting this. Okay. I am going to try flushing all of the decoders. If I even made it some way that I can do that, which I did not. of course, a little bit complicated because I don't have it set up in such a way that I can easily flush, but that's not going to stop me. My real, like, concern here is that I will have, like, things in the pipeline. So, like, I send the seek back. Well, I mean, this should run... How is high watermark implemented? I guess there will be one thing in the input. Yeah. So probably, if I do this exactly as I'm about to, it's actually going to screw up quite egregiously. I'm still going to do it that way, but just to verify my intuition. IV codec flush buffers. Just takes a single codec context, which I think is, yeah, the second one. This is not going to compile. I'm going to have to do this. It's either a video decoder or an audio decoder. Dot flush. Is this? Yes, that's a promise. I'm going to go ahead and await that too. Now the problem is that the demuxer will already have one chunk in its output buffer that this just hasn't read yet because nobody has read from its output buffer. So this flush is not going to happen at the right time. And right now, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that. But my first step is to check if I'm at least correct about that. So I should get decoding errors as soon as I try and seek. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Keyframe is required after configure flush. Yep. So... is there a way... Because I could have access to this reader if I wanted to. If I could even find the damned reader, I guess it would be down here. Oh, well, no, it has to be above that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I could have access to this if I wanted to. Demxu stream. Yeah, that... Just trying to figure out how I make sure that anything that would be coming out of the input has... So, like, I need to flush both sides. I have flushed the decoder, but I need to make sure that there's no input left that's going to be read by the decoder, because I have no particular way of knowing when this event has happened. And without sort of properly flushing everything, I'm never going to get the timestamps right. Speaking of, variable chunk size is already done. So even though I only have one task, I am probably not going to finish it today, because this is going to be a bit wackadoo. I just need to think carefully here. I wish there was a way to do a, like, maybe read. I guess it can't do a maybe read, because the whole idea is that it's pull-based. So when you read, that means that you are pulling out of it. I seem to recall I was going to have like an empty... Yeah, in fact, I did do exactly this. And my God, I've implemented all of this. I am so stupid. This is already done. It's just not how I remember doing it. Okay, so that actually does work. But the decoder is still sending discontinuous, or sorry, it's still, well, I don't know what, the decoder is doing something very strange, basically. Oh, do I not have this, yeah, I don't have this, logging anything right now. Do I have an extra, no, it must be in the player. Oh, yeah, I just logged the output of that because I didn't know what the hell was going on. In fact, I don't even need to await that, so I don't need this to be async. That was all just testing. That really shouldn't be on input, but that is not the biggest problem for me to deal with right now. Sorry, I'm just sort of in brain off mode here as I try to guess what's going on. What I don't want to do is like reallocate the decoder just to flush it. Flushing should be sufficient. But then either it should be or it shouldn't be. I'm going to go back to here. Oops. Get this logging again. Let me just only do, well, not only. Let me do a jump forwards and then backwards just to get a better sense of it. So long jump forwards, that did indeed definitely jump forwards. The jump backwards seems to have worked too, actually. Yeah, never mind. I guess those timestamps are in fact correct. So then why Well, okay, wait. So that literally, I was just trying to figure out where in the chain things are breaking down, and if it's not here, then it's some other step in the chain. Jeez, figure it out. Almost certainly, then the plane normalizer would be the place in the chain where it's breaking down. Oh, but I have the same problem trying to reset this as I did with that, and I think that the decoder, like, I don't send through even though I read in empty because I know I need to flush. I didn't anticipate needing to, flush the next step along the way. And I think, yeah, I don't send anything out if it's empty. Yeah. But I could. I mean, there's no reason I couldn't. I could just have that mean the same thing all the way through. Empty array means discontinuity of some kind. That's fine. Controller dot enqueue, another empty array, and then return, right? Like if I controller dot enqueue, oh yeah, fine. This is a while true loop, so I can just break. And then the next step in this particular chain should be the play normalizer, which I could have reset its filter graphs. In fact, just close its filter graphs because it'll remake them. So da, 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 da. Was I what? Where did I guess I initialized that nowhere. I must have initialized it down here. Yeah, it's okay. What else would it be? And I guess I could also set the buffer source and buffer sink similarly. Oh. I didn't make this a while true loop because I didn't anticipate the possibility. Wait, how did I not anticipate the possibility here of I guess I did. It's just down there somewhere. Out frames. Yeah, this is wrong. I didn't anticipate the possibility of out frames being empty. I mean, it's not like severely wrong, but it's at worst, or it's at best confusing. Yeah, this whole thing does have to be in a while true loop. That absolutely sucks, but it does. Does this? Yes, this puts it in out frames. I mean, it's just going to keep doing this until out frames has some frames in it, so it's fine for out frames to be outside of the loop. Okay, if outFrames.length, then we enqueue it and break. That means these can now be breaks, which is a little bit less confusing than returns, in my opinion. Now, since we freed that filter graph and emptied it here, this should reallocate the filter graph. Technically, we could lose whatever frames were already in the filter graph, but like we seeked, we don't care if we lose some frames, it doesn't matter. I think everything else should be good, question mark? Like, there's also the software scaler, but that's totally, like, frame independent anyway. It doesn't really matter. Now, that looks very bad. Is the audio... What is the audio doing? The audio seems to just be playing from the beginning, like it didn't even seek. I know you can't, well, I think you can't hear. I have no idea whether you can hear the audio, but I think you can't. Something is all over the place. Like, you see this bouncing around occasionally. Something is very, very odd. How much am I reading ahead in the audio? I don't think I'm reading ahead very much. Yeah, this is in milliseconds, so if I have more than 200 milliseconds buffered, then I wait until I have only 100 milliseconds buffered. Seems quite reasonable to me. And yeah, it changes the audio offset every time. So like if it gets a discontinuity here, I guess I never actually checked if the discontinuities are working correctly now. Well, I can frame time. This is in milliseconds. How very odd. I think that the audio... Yeah, now it didn't seek backwards? It's like the audio did jump to the end, but it didn't jump back again when I asked it to. And the sync was like double failure here. The sync also was not working. This is not, like, the audio has not jumped back. Let me jump all the way to the credits. Yeah, no, it's going way too fast. Let's just check some madness here. Yep, okay. It's doing the delay calculations seemingly fine. So, like, if it's so okay, wait. The reason why seeking backwards isn't working could be as simple as this is forcing it to read in more video, like it's just reading everything into a giant buffer, because this is just teed, and so when I'm combining both of those, all of that is still in the buffer, even if it has actually seeked. So let me check if that really is just a video playback problem. Um, Let's see. I specifically must not tee this now. Uh, yep. Okay, so the audio seeking is actually working, which means that everything is working except that my player is stupid. The video side of the player, more specifically. Oh, I wonder. It's not. Surely it's not possible that the video timestamps are not seeking correctly. The video timestamps, counterintuitively, are the easy part. Okay. Yeah, that jumped up. And that... They seem to be jumping, aren't they? Yeah. So it's just something about the delay that's wrong. Or I suppose it could be that this queuing isn't working correctly. Video queue plus plus. And then only once I've waited for the delay and drawn the image and closed it do I do video queue minus minus. So this ought to cause me to wait until there aren't too many queued. Let me see, because I mean the audio offset should update quite eagerly, so it shouldn't take too long for it to sort of adjust to the new audio offset. Fine. So the delay was ridiculous there for a bit, but look, the delay is still going up instead of down. Audio offset plus that delay minus the frame time. The frame time should be correct. So basically the audio offset, let me just log the audio. Oh, this is stupid because I'm just fixing a demo rather than the actual code. I think the code is working. But if I just log this, this should be basically the same, if not literally the same, until I change. And then it's very different. It's some other value. But then it should be basically the same. Yeah. Until I change again. Well, okay. There is no change again. So my audio offset feels pretty correct. Frame time. This is simply not equals to null, so it just is defined. Plus audio offset. Frame time. The audio offset became negative because 0 is when you first loaded the page. So playing at the end is like I started before I loaded the page. So that all adds up. Now is performance.now. I mean, I'm fairly certain that the frame times were correct, right? Like, okay, did it actually do the video seek? I think so. Yeah, the video seek happened. This only updates the video offset, so the next frame, it's not even going to use that, because if there is an audio offset, then it uses that. Wait, does that mean that... Okay. Yeah, if this starts playing too quickly... Oh, yeah. I know exactly what's happening. If this starts playing too quickly, then there's no delay here for it to, like, get back to the correct time, which means it'll just keep playing too quickly. In this case, it's not that it's playing too quickly, it's that there was a jump, and it hasn't quite sort of regularized yet around that jump. So I just need to force it to delay if the delay is high, even if... the delay is sort of improbably high. So the way to do that is just separate those, but then I want math.min of delay at 100. I don't want to wait too long. If your video is 10 FPS, then you get to suffer. Okay, that ought to do it. Yeah, there's just like a moment of it resolving itself. That super slow-mo was just like the audio and video trying to sort of align with each other. But once it is, once they're aligned, you can see everything looks good. There's a moment of alignment, which is pretty well unavoidable, frankly, and just has to do with buffering. Okay, that works. I'm not quite done because there's one other filtering step that I would like to do the same thing with. I don't think there's any reason for me to do the same thing with encoding. I mean, yeah, a seek going into an encode is just madness anyway, so there's really no... Like, there's nothing good that could be communicated through that, but I should at least try to communicate it through everything that is a decodey, framey step so that I don't screw myself up. Hey, filter was thinking with audio caused incorrect timestamps because okay, now I just need to do the same for I guess just the libav filter, which I guess is just called filter here. And this should pretty much act the same, right? Like, it's going to have to dynamically allocate them. Yes, I stored things in a slightly different way, but it behaves the same. Yeah, okay. Where did I actually... Oh, all the way up there. Oh, this isn't going to be const anymore because I'm going to overwrite it. Filters, filter equals filters idx, await, la dot, ff filter, oh, that was just, the AV filter graph free JS on filter 0, and then I set filters equals empty again, and controller.enqueue empty array to pass that through and break. Well, that was easier than I anticipated. I was almost certain I wasn't going to finish that today, and instead I've got 10 minutes to spare. Let me check. It just feels wrong that that's on input. It should have worked fine with on change, and I don't know why it didn't. So on input, like if you click and drag, then every little bit of the drag, it sends a new on input signal. And so that would be like asking for hundreds of seeks, which is fine, but not like the right way to do it. Yeah, what's happening is it's seeking back to where it was, but I don't understand. Why is on change? I wonder if what's happening is that... Oh, God, that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, on change is an event. The event technically can fire after this promise resolution chain has fired separately. So it could be that I change it, then this fires and updates the value, and then I actually get the onChange called, in which case I'm just reading the value that was there anyway. Oh dear, that's kind of a problem. Does the change event itself indicate what it was changed to, so I can get the previous change? Command copy. Oh wait, those are the kinds of events. Instance properties. The value doesn't seem to be there. Yeah, this is just looking at the value out of the target element. I mean, technically speaking, I was just displaying it in the seek bar as a courtesy. I don't have to. But, you know, courtesies are good. I would rather do that courtesy than not do that courtesy. Let me test this theory. So, if I do that, then the seek bar value will never update, but on change works. Yep, okay. I guess I could just have it be based on a different event. My discomfort with this is that I would need to, like if I make this an interval or something that updates it, then I need to clear that. Well, that's fine, that's easy. Show time interval equals set interval. 10 times a second should be sufficient for just the seek bar. Seek bar dot value equals math dot round of the playtime, and since this is an event, it should not sort of interfere with the on change event in the same way. Then all I need to do is clear interval, the show time interval, and clear that same interval here. This is, you know, not the best way to do this, but good enough for government work. Yep, that play bar is progressing, but if I click it, then it doesn't work. What the fuck? I don't understand. An on-change event cannot be interrupted by this. God, I wonder if on change for a range has like a timeout, because it expects you to sort of fiddle with it. In which case, I really do just need on input, and that's all there is to it. I don't want to do it like this because I don't want to be like hyper-seeking. I don't want to seek, 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 seek. That would be bad for responsiveness. That would be bad for everything. I forget, can you check a promise status in, like, can you check whether a promise is resolved? It's sort of against the idea of promises, but it's not like such a terrible idea that maybe you could do that. What, why are these all the static things? What is... Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just those. These are all going to be, yeah, just object stuff. Okay, I've got an idea. It's weird to have this be a promise when I'm not actually... like, I'm not going to await the promise or anything. This is a wackadoo way of dealing with it, but basically waiting for the seek to actually go through will help. And then on top of that, just to make sure that I'm not doing things like stupidly quickly, literally just going to await a just arbitrary amount of time, say 100 milliseconds. So now every time you seek, seek 2 will be updated, but if there was a previous seek loop, then it'll just use that to seek again. How in God's name did that not work? Oops, that's how. Oh wait, and also, oh that was catastrophic, is what that was. Seek 2 equals null. There we go. So. How? Seek 2 equals seek bar dot value divided by 1000. Seek 2 is not equal to null. Oh, I get 2 to... Missed my second seek there. This is just a demo, so it literally doesn't matter, but... Bear in mind that these are not actually, like, truly parallel. I mean, Van Wibben, you're pretty well right. I would just like to fix a little bit of weirdness in this and then stream over. Okay. Duh. Duh. No, that seeks correctly, I think. Bop, bop. Yeah, that ultimately seeks to the right place. Maybe I misunderstood what clicking at. Well, this looks wrong. No, that eventually got to the right place. Eventual consistency is all I'm going for here, so I think it is actually correct. Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. It's food. Eat it, eat it. I'm not quite sure why I decided to queue this in the first place. Shouldn't I just do one frame at a time? Like, what was the logic in my video queue? It seems hugely complicated, and I have no idea what the benefit is. Because we're going to wait there. Like, I don't want to queue. I don't want to queue. Why would I want to queue? Is it just because drawing takes time? I don't think I want a queue. I guess, like, no, even, I was about to say, like, the first few frames you wouldn't have the audio offset, but that's just as true if it's in this queue. I literally have no clue what the logic was here. At some point I thought that was a good idea, but I can simply find no reason why it would be. As far as I can tell, it's a horrendous idea. Yeah, now the seeking is much more reactive. Bizarre. I have no idea what my what my rationale to that was. Okay. That's done. Now, I did say like 10 streams ago that TransAVormer was basically done. And for everything that I had in mind for TransAVormer, it really was done then. It's just that people keep finding TransAVormer and going, oh, I also wanted to do X. And I think, oh, well, that's pretty cool. I could make it do X. And then I make it do X. So I'm trapped in a TransAVormer cycle. I would like to get an actual release done. I hope that that's enough stuff that I can justify a release. But I have a little bit more documentation I want to do before I make an actual release.